welcome back to the Mane Marketing Podcast. It's your girl, Kiana. Today, I want to talk to you about a conversation that I actually just had over the weekend with a potential new student. So she came to me with a question that I thought was very interesting. Welcome back to the Mane Marketing Podcast. This is your girl, Kiana. I'm pumped to be here today. It was such a good weekend. Today is Monday. I have a video shoot after this that I'm really pumped about. But yeah, it was a really relaxing weekend. We actually went to the zoo and spent some time with our boys, and it was just one of those dreamy moments that you want to lock away in your memories forever. So today I wanted to kind of touch on something, and I never even thought about this perspective until a potential new student had reached out and asked this question. So if you are listening to this podcast, thank you so much for asking this question because it unlocked a whole new level of ideas for me. I do just want to say that you guys have been sharing the podcast and tagging me on Instagram. Thank you so freaking much. Every little bit helps, and I just am forever grateful to you for that. I also, before we jump in, I do just want to remind you that I hosted my masterclass from Drain to Dream Life about a week and a half ago, and the response was so incredible that we ended up putting it on autopilot. So if you are interested in learning the 3 signature strategies I used inside of my business to hit 6 figures, all while working a dreamy 3-day work week without double booking, then definitely check the show notes below so you can secure your spot. All right, we're jumping in. So this student had reached out in my DMs, and let me just tell you, I love when you DM me. I love answering your questions, so please send them my way. She had asked, is it important to market yourself when your boss is marketing for you already? Or I don't know if this was her intention of the question, but it was more is it important to market yourself if you have someone higher up marketing for you? And I never thought about this perspective because it really has been so long since I've been in a position where someone else was marketing for me. But I have a lot to say on this one. I want to challenge you to flip the perspective on marketing when it comes to your own business. And even if you work for someone else inside of a business, you have your own business inside of that business. So I want you to get excited and flip the script and almost make it a game. Personally, inside of my own business, I love looking at the numbers. I love looking at analytics and all of that, and I love to kind of measure things and see how things are working. I'll even take my Instagram posts and see which one's performing better, and then really sit there and think, why is this one doing better? What did I do in this video different than I'm doing in all the other videos? And how can I replicate this for another video? Does that make sense? So it's really just a game. And my biggest piece of advice would be to fall in love with the game. The sooner you can fall in love with the game, the better results you're going to get and the longer you're going to be able to sustain them. This is key because consistency is where it is at. In marketing, it's all about the long game. You don't see overnight results. It's what you see 3 to 6 months from now, 9 months from now. Personally, in starting this whole education company, it took 9 months before I started seeing any traction just in this education business alone. And I completely forgot that when I went into it because I had been doing hair for so long. I had been doing hair for 10 years before I started any of this. So I was like, okay, well, it's just going to happen. I don't know. I don't really know what I was thinking, but it does take time, and you have to allow yourself that time. But I'm going to dive in deeper. I know I kind of didn't answer that question yet. I want you to think about this. Do you buy from brands or do you buy from people? Are you going to make a large investment with a brand, or are you going to make a large investment with someone you have a connection with? Someone that you've talked to, someone that you've learned something from. I don't know about you, but I'd much rather make an investment with a person versus a brand. Sometimes I feel like brands can, just be so large that you're just a number. You're just, you're lost in their machine type of thing. So personally, I like to buy from people, and that is why I think it's so important to think about that when trying to decide, is it important to market myself if my boss is marketing for me as well? 1 second, I have to grab a drink. All right, another thing I want to challenge you to think about is, what if you decide to move? Say you're working for this person and they're amazing now, things are going great, but you want a place of your own. I mean, if you're commissioned, what if you end up want to go booth rental, or you want a suite, or you want your own salon? All of these things require you to be able to market yourself. And if you don't build that skill now, it's going to be 10 times harder, because you're going to take a massive hit anytime you move. You do take a hit. You lose about 10% or less of your clientele anytime you move. So if you're moving salons, I mean, you very well could lose people. So what is your backup plan? What is your plan to get more butts in your chair? And if you don't have a strategy, you don't have a plan. You need marketing for that purpose. Now, like myself, I've moved salons many times. I was commissioned first, and then I went into another commissioned salon, and then I went to a booth rental salon, a suite, and then ultimately purchased a salon for myself. So if I hadn't learned how to market myself every single time I wanted to level up, I'd be setting myself back 10 steps instead of just 2 steps, if that makes sense. Now, another thing to think of is, what if you want to pivot somewhere down the road? Like for me, example, I wanted to pivot more into education, as you can see right now. If I didn't know how to market myself, that wouldn't even be on the table for me. That wouldn't even be in the cards for me. I wouldn't even know where to start. So this is why it's so important to put that marketing in your own hands. You are in control of your future. Your boss is not. And especially in this industry, how cool is it that we have the potential to be our own boss one day if we choose? But again, it's the if we choose. So always keeping that in the back of your mind for your long game of, I'm learning a skill that's going to set me up for success for the rest of my career, versus I'm going to have to put in some more work and my boss is putting in some work too. But think about it. I mean, if you're looking at a salon's website, you don't feel emotionally connected to any of the artists on there. But if you're looking at one person's website, you're more likely to feel connected to them because it's one person. You're hearing the messaging from one person's voice, not one person trying to project it for a whole team of people. Does that make sense? So what you could attract just by marketing yourself is so much greater and so much more authentic to you and your goals than what your mentor could for you. Now, don't get me wrong, I own a commission salon myself, and I have taught the girls the Mane Magnet method. And in that, they know that they know that I'm going to market for them. But if they're not marketing for themselves, they're not going to get the most optimized results because that method is created around one person. That method is about your secret sauce, not a salon secret sauce, not the broader picture. Has it worked for my salon? 100%. But at the end of the day, more eyes on your offer is what you want. So more people marketing more towards that much greater goal is going to get you there sooner than if only one of you were marketing for you. Does that make sense? I could go on and on and on about this topic. I feel like I'm having to take a whole nother water break because I'm like, my voice. Okay, so hopefully this sheds some insight on how important marketing is and how you should never rely on someone else to market for you, because no one at the end of the day can be you. No one can be uniquely you the way you can, and only you can share your voice in the way that you do, and that is your secret sauce. So if you are interested in learning the 3 signature strategies I use to hit 6 figures inside of my business, all while working 3 days a week without double booking, then make sure to check the show notes below. I would love to have you inside of the class. Don't forget to screenshot this episode today and tag me on Instagram. I love seeing that stuff. It lights me up inside. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. Like I said, I love chatting in my DMs. Also, I post new episodes every single Tuesday at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until next time. We should win.